This podcast is brought to you by Triple Automation.
Absolutely.
And welcome to today's deep dive. We are so glad to have you here listening in with us.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun one today.
It is. So imagine for a second, that you just bought a $2 million state-of-the-art robotic arm.
Okay, I'm picturing a massive investment right off the bat.
Right, huge. So you bolted into a massive concrete foundation on your factory floor, right? You build a literal reinforced steel cage around it.
Because you have to, yeah.
Exactly. And you spend, 3 weeks programming it to perform one flawless, blindingly fast assembly maneuver.
A marvel of engineering.
Totally. And then a month later, you realize that incredible multi-million-dollar machine is just completely useless.
Which is a terrifying thought for any business owner.
It really is. And why? Because your biggest client just called and decided they want the product they ordered to be like half an inch wider.
Yeah, half-inch change, turning a massive capital investment into a giant steel paperweight. It sounds absurd when you frame it like that, honestly.
Yeah.
But for decades, that was just the accepted brutal cost of doing business in modern manufacturing.
And that brutal reality is exactly what we are dismantling today on this deep dive. We're pulling our insights from this really phenomenal excerpt. It's titled The Customization Wave, Human-Centric Automation in Industry 5.0.
It's a great source.
Yeah.
Really eye-opening stuff.
It really is. And our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how the manufacturing world is finally, breaking out of those steel cages.
Right.
We are tracking this massive shift away from machines that force humans to adapt to their rigid rules.
Yeah, and moving toward an era where the hardware is finally smart enough and flexible enough to adapt to us.
To really set the stage here, how big of a shift are we actually talking about?
Well, to really grasp the magnitude of this shift, we have to recognize that Industry 5.0 isn't just a software patch.
Right.
It's not just buying a slightly faster processor for the exact same old machines. It is a fundamental rewrite of the physics and the economics of the entire factory floor.
Wow, so total rewrite.
Yes. But to understand why these new rules are so necessary, we first have to unpack the trap of the era we are leaving behind.
Which is Industry 4.0.
Exactly. Industry 4.0.
Let's dive into that trap, because Industry 4.0 got a ton of hype, right?
Oh, massive amounts of hype.
It gave us the Internet of Things, hyperconnectivity, huge data analytics. We could track every single variable on an assembly line.
Yeah, the digital side was incredibly sophisticated.
Right, but the irony of all that digital sophistication was that the physical machinery, the actual robots doing the heavy lifting, they remained stubbornly, almost comically rigid.
They were mechanical dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Industry 4.0 was engineered exclusively for what we call low-mix, high-volume production.
Low-mix, high-volume.
Meaning the goal was to build millions of identical widgets without ever stopping.
Right.
You had these monolithic machines bolted permanently to the ground, surrounded by physical barriers.
Because they were so dangerous.
Exactly. They moved with such blind, terrifying force that they were just incredibly dangerous to any human workers nearby.
The best way to visualize that Industry 4.0 mindset, for me anyway, is to think of it like a massive permanent train track.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's incredibly efficient if you want to go to one specific destination, right?
Yeah, a straight shot.
But it is completely useless if you need to suddenly go off-road.
That is a perfect analogy. The infrastructure is permanently committed to a single outcome.
Okay, let's unpack this, though, because I'm going to push back a little bit.
Sure.
If traditional automation was so incredibly efficient, why was it never a perfect fit for small and medium-sized enterprises? SMEs.
That's a really good question.
Right, because I feel like maximum efficiency and high-volume output is exactly what a small business is desperate for if they want to scale up.
Well, you're touching on the exact breaking point of the global supply chain there. The problem isn't that SMEs didn't want efficiency. The problem is that the global market simply stopped demanding millions of identical widgets.
Oh, right. Consumer habits change.
Exactly. The source material refers to this massive shift as the customization wave.
The customization wave.
Yeah. Modern consumers and clients have been conditioned to expect hyper-personalization now.
Like, everyone wants something bespoke.
Right. They want shorter product life cycles. They want smaller batches, high mix, low volume production.
So instead of making a million identical things, it's like, give me 10,000 variations and I need the design updated by next Tuesday.
Precisely. And for a shifting, chaotic environment like this, Traditional automation was just totally cost prohibitive.
Because of the train tracks.
Right. The ROI, the return on investment was just a huge problem.
Because of the downtime.
Exactly. The days of downtime required to tear down, re-engineer, and reprogram those rigid setups. It completely destroyed a company's ROI.
Man, so rigid, permanent fixtures were literally bankrupting the ROI of SMEs in this high-mix market.
Suffocating them.
So the industry obviously desperately needed a bridge, right? Like some way to connect human ingenuity with flexible automation.
Yeah, they were starving for a solution.
Which brings us to these Canadian pioneers, Triple Automation. They stepped up to solve this exact headache.
They absolutely did.
They developed this flagship workstation, and they call it the AutoFlex Pro.
The AutoFlex Pro.
And instead of a stationary fixture that anchors a company to a single workflow, it is a completely mobile, incredibly versatile workstation.
Right. It's engineered specifically for this Industry 5.0 wave we're talking about.
Yeah. Can you walk us through the tech specs on this thing? Because it sounds wild.
Oh, the tech specs are fantastic. So it seamlessly integrates advanced JK series collaborative robot arms.
Okay, JK series.
Yeah, and it pairs those robotic arms alongside adaptive end-of-arm tooling from a company called OnRobot.
Adaptive tooling, so it's not just a single dumb claw.
Right, exactly. It's highly collaborative and highly adaptable.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. When I was looking through the sources,
Yeah.
this whole setup, this highly advanced robotic workstation, it runs entirely on a standard 110-volt outlet.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Like the same outlet I use for my coffee maker.
Exactly. And that 110-volt detail is a total game changer for the industry.
Why is that such a big deal economically?
Because it completely eliminates the need for complex electrical infrastructure overhauls.
Oh, right. You don't have to rewire your whole building?
No, you don't. In the past, with Industry 4.0, you had to hire specialized industrial electricians, pull high-voltage, three-phase power drops.
Wow, drilled trenches in the concrete.
Exactly. It was a massive barrier to entry. But this instantly removes those rigid technical barriers that used to stall production and drain budgets.
That makes total sense. So to really visualize how this lack of technical barriers actually plays out on the shop floor,
Let's do it.
let's look at a day-to-day timeline of this technology in action. Let's do a Monday versus Tuesday scenario.
Oh, I love this breakdown. It really paints the picture.
Okay, so it's Monday. We're on an Industry 5.0 shop floor. A team is assembling custom electronics, and a human operator is working side by side with the AutoFlex Pro.
No cages in sight.
No cages at all. They're using an on-robot gripper to carefully manipulate delicate parts while the human does intricate manual wiring.
It's smooth, collaborative, highly productive. A good Monday.
A great Monday. But then we introduce a wrench in the gears.
Tuesday.
Tuesday rolls around, a sudden order comes in, demanding a completely different product geometry.
Yep, the parts are suddenly bigger or shaped weirdly.
Right. Now, what would this normally mean in the old Industry 4.0 days?
In the old days, complete panic.
Right. Production grinds to a total halt.
You'd have to hire external systems integrators.
Spend days rewriting complex C++ code, bleeding money the entire time.
Oh, easily. It would be a nightmare.
But with the triple automation setup, we get what I'm calling the 5-minute fix.
The 5-minute fix. Walk us through it.
Okay, so the floor manager just uses these intuitive user interfaces to reprogram the cell.
Like a tablet, right?
Yeah, often just a tablet. No complex coding required.
They just drag and drop or even physically guide the robot arm.
Exactly. Then they simply swap the gripper for a vacuum tool via a quick connect interface. It just clicks right in.
Simple as changing a drill bit.
Then they unlock the mobile workstation's base, literally wheel it over to a legacy conveyor line, plug it into the wall, and restart production in mere minutes.
It's honestly incredible. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
So let's do it.
this is the ultimate competitive edge.
Yeah.
What you're seeing in that 5-minute Tuesday pivot is the perfect combination of human creativity and robotic precision.
Man, that's powerful.
It really is. The human solves the abstract problem, and the machine perfectly executes the physical solution.
So to synthesize this core insight from the source material,
Mm-hmm.
this level of flexibility completely transforms automation, right?
Yes, fundamentally.
It goes from being a rigid, depreciating capital expense into a fluid, highly dynamic asset.
Exactly. It democratizes advanced manufacturing.
Democratizes it, yeah.
It allows local shops and SMEs to remain hyper-competitive on a global scale.
Because they can finally execute mass customization.
Right. On a budget that was previously just totally impossible for them.
Ah, wow. So, bringing this back to you, our listener,
Yeah?
triple automation is really proving that the customization wave is no longer just this futuristic concept, you know?
It's here.
It's a practical, everyday reality. It is happening on shop floors right now.
It absolutely is.
And I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over today.
Okay, let's hear it.
We've talked all about how these highly advanced collaborative robots can now be wheeled around a room and plugged into the exact same standard 110-volt wall outlet you use to charge your laptop, right?
A basic wall plug.
Right. So if the technology is that accessible now, how long until this intuitive, human-centric automation moves beyond the factory floor entirely and straight into our everyday workspaces?
Oh, wow. That is a really interesting thought.
Right. Just imagine AutoFlex Pro helping out in a commercial kitchen or a busy warehouse office.
It's coming faster than we think.
It really is. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next Deep Dive.